What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about Crucible, Amazon's new free-to-play game released in May 20th, 2020. Today's the 19th, so you'll definitely be able to get your hands on it tomorrow. Full disclosure, this video is sponsored as I did get to play the game early. So today's video is going to cover everything you need to know before your first Crucible match, and I mean everything. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I'm TenguTone, and let's jump right into it. I'm sure you're going to be familiar with a few selections on the home screen, such as Store. That's where you'll be able to go to view or purchase any cosmetics. Battle Pass, it costs $10 and has 80 tiers. If you hit the number 2, it'll take you to the character selection screen. There you'll be able to choose who you want to play as well as view their upgrades and abilities. If you go to collections, that's where you'll be able to go a little bit more in depth with customization. You can change your decals to your pods, to your emojis, voice lines, etc. If you hit skins, obviously that takes you to the skins. Each character so far in the closed beta had about 9 different skins. Upon finding your first match, you'll be sent to the pre-game lobby where you'll be able to view your enemy team as well as change your upgrades in accordance to who you're facing. This also shows incoming world events, but we'll touch more on that later. Now it's almost time for you to drop into your first match. Here, you or your ally will be able to choose the drop point. Each team gets one half of the map. Once you've made a decision, you and your team will be dropped down to that exact point. Keep in mind, you will not be able to reselect. Landing on Planet Crucible will show you a few interesting things, such as having access to all 4 of your abilities shown on the bottom right hand side of the screen. The main resource for leveling is called Essence. The blue orbs drop from killing creatures such as lurkers, stompers, and spitters. However, these are not the only ways. You'll also gain essence from killing enemy hunters as well as capturing harvesters, the machine you see on the screen right now. Capturing this will give you 30 essence every 10 seconds in Heart of the Hives and 100 in Alpha Hunters. Pro tip, in Alpha Hunters, when a harvester gets consumed by the barrier, it stops ticking but grants a one-time bonus of 1300 essence. After capturing a few harvesters, you should start running into the enemy team as all of you are moving around to farm and capture points of interest that the enemy team has captured. Just be careful, as dying a lot in the early game will grant the enemy team a level and experience lead, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't take the fight. Be smart about it. Look around. Are any of your teammates near you? If so, it'll be good to let them know there's enemies in there, and maybe you guys can converge on them and get the upper hand. Planet Crucible has a few different plants you can interact with, such as the pink one on the screen right now. After it takes damage, it'll start spraying out an acid that'll damage enemy hunters. The yellow plant releases a gas. Once you step inside of it, it will provide an invis for around 6 seconds. Last is a green plant that will heal and cleanse you. It's important for me to tell you that just because an enemy has gone invisible doesn't mean they've gotten away. There's still audible and visual cues, as you see on screen right now, that will let you know exactly which way they're going, so that way you can get the drop on them. I won that fight, by the way. If you're low in health, you'll find health stations at certain harvester locations throughout the map. Medkits are also scattered. You can identify it by its spherical shape and green plus on the side of it. If you're rotating or just stalking another hunter, it's always important to hit control. This will allow you to scan the surrounding area, so that way you can see exactly who or what is around you. Medkits will pop up as well as enemy hunters and monsters. Gunplay in Crucible can be a little overwhelming at times, as you will not be able to burst down someone in 1.5 seconds and walk away with the kill. Also, keep in mind, when you're in a fight, you want to kill the enemy, but you don't want to burn all of your abilities immediately and die because of cooldowns. Positioning and character knowledge is key. That's going to come from playing the game a lot. I didn't mention this before, but this game has a set speed. You cannot purchase items to move faster. However, every hunter has some type of mobility built into their kit already. So with Cezanne, the dash is hers. Mendoza has a sprint that will allow him to kind of get a boost as he moves forward. In Heart of the Hives, there's a specific audio cue that will inform you the hive has been destroyed.
Nothing like a knife.
If someone starts to capture the heart, this audio tune will play.
Your hunters have captured a hive heart.
It's important to know that you can stop someone from capturing the heart. In order to do so, you're going to have to walk up and melee them. Shooting them will not do it unless you have an ability like Cezanne's, whose shotgun will knock enemy hunters back. Dying in any game mode can be frustrating and problematic, but I want to remind you, overextending will most likely result in your death, potentially leaving your teammates in a bad situation when it comes to capturing objectives. While you are able to respawn in Heart of the Hives and Harvest of Command, keep in mind that there is a death timer. In Heart of the Hives, the death timer is 25 seconds, while in Harvest of Command, the death time is 10 seconds. After dying in either game mode, you can select where you'll respawn. Keep in mind, in Heart of the Hives, there's always going to be an area that's blocked off around where the hive is spawning, so that way no one can just get back to it as quick as possible. This is why I said you'll be penalized. By now, I'm sure you've realized that there's no mini-map. So what you're going to want to do is hit Tab or M frequently to pull up your map and to see exactly what is going on. Doing so will provide you with information such as where the hive is and if it's spawned yet. If the hive is not ready, it will be white. If it is, it will be green as you see on the screen. If you're watching this video, it's safe to say you've already done some research. You know there's 10 different hunters in this game, each with their own unique skills and play styles. So if you like a glass cannon, you can go someone with like a Tosca that can burst someone down and has a lot of mobility. If you like bruisers, you can choose someone like Drakal. And if you like someone with a little bit more sustain that's going to support the overall team, you can choose Raheem Brother. As we get closer to the end of the video, I just want to explain something a little bit about the pinging system. It's still a work in progress. It's not the best. One click of the mouse wheel button will alert your teammates to look in a specific direction, while 2 clicks will alert them that an enemy is nearby. Lastly, I want to explain the incoming events. Remember in the pre-game lobby when I said we'll touch on that later? Well, here we are. Events are one of the key features in the game of Crucible. The game has 3 different types of events: starting events, critical events, and major events. Starting events are active at the beginning of Alpha Hunter matches. Heart of the Hives and Harvest of Command do not have starting events. Critical events are rare, but they do provide a tremendous advantage to any of the hunters that are able to capture them. And lastly, major events. These occur frequently while on the planet Crucible and can be helpful to anyone that captures it. For example, there's one that's called a damage amplifier. That increases the damage to the hunter and their team, increasing them 12% per objective in Alpha Hunters and 8% in Heart of the Hives, as well as health boost pods, which drops a bunch of small pods that heal and increase max health by a tiny degree. And that's all the information you'll need to know before your first game. I hope you guys enjoyed the game. Crucible will be dropping on Steam May 20th, 2020. So depending on when you're watching this may be tomorrow or it may have already been released. As always, if you enjoyed the content, I'd greatly appreciate you dropping a like on this, as well as subscribing if you feel like it. If not, that's cool too. But thank you so much for your support, and I'll see you all in the next video. Take care.